This winter I used 3 different styles of row covers. Let's take a look at each one and see which one performed best. The first one is a cloche made by Flowerhouse. The second one is a hoop house made from PVC pipe, plastic sheet, and some old blankets. And the last style is these row covers from Gardenline. I'm going to rate them on 5 things: wind resistance, snow resistance, heat retention, ease of access, and cost. All 3 row covers survived wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. The Flowerhouse was rock solid. We had some minor problems with the row cover. Wind would work the plastic sheeting up out of the ground, so I had to rebury that a couple of times, so that was a bit of a problem. The worst for wind resistance is the Gardenline row covers. Without a frost seal along the bottom edge, wind blows up underneath the cover. You can see it flapping the access hatch in the wind. The ability to hold up under snow is not good on the Gardenline row cover. This has Velcro along the edges, and Velcro is wearing out, and snow piles up and pulls the cover in, and the snow falls inside. The hoop house also has a problem handling snow. It tends to pile up on the plastic and pull the end hoops in. The Flowerhouse, with its pup tent shape, had no problem shedding ice and snow. Heat retention for the Flowerhouse was excellent. And the hoop house was good, even with cloth sheets on the front and back of the tunnel. The worst was the Gardenline row cover, because the wind can blow through. For ease of access, the Flowerhouse is excellent. It has zip-open panels on both sides, and it also has zip-open vents in each of the panels. So you have complete access to all of the plants inside. You can vent out excess heat. It's easy to water. Access in the hoop house is extremely limited unless you pull the plastic sheeting back. That's a lot of work to do when it's cold out. You can access a few feet from each end by removing the cloth blankets, but it's still not ideal. And access into the Gardenline row covers is good, but not excellent. You can zip open the panel on the front of the row cover, but it doesn't have an access panel on the back. To make it easier to reach, I pull out these hooks in the front of the row cover, and then I can hinge it open to work along the back of the square. As far as costs, the homemade hoop house can be the cheapest alternative if you can scrounge up PVC pipe and some plastic sheet for free. If you have to go out and buy all the materials, a 15-foot hoop house might cost $50. I think the Gardenline row covers cost about $25 each. And the most expensive option of all is the Flowerhouse. New, I think this model is over $100, but in some things you get what you pay for. How did they perform overall? The Gardenline row covers without a frost seal performed the worst of the 3 options. But some of their new products have frost seals at the bottom, access panels on the front and back, and zippers that run all the way around the access panels, so the newer design might be a good option. The hoop house was the most difficult to access, had problems with the wind, but it's inexpensive if you can scrounge the materials, and it traps heat well. It's a bigger enclosure than the other 2. I think that helps retain heat. And the Flowerhouse performed the best of all. Has good access, retains heat, stands up to the weather, but it does cost the most. We've had lows in the mid-20s for the last 3 days, but tomorrow the weather's supposed to break. Spring will finally be here. Go make some stuff grow.